Hey everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and this is my second part of my swatches from Goulet Pen Co. So I ended up purchasing the Pink Autumn Lammy All-Star pen. I keep saying Lammy because I think of that lamb stuffed animal, but it's actually Lamy. Well, I purchased it from Goulet Pens. I have loved their YouTube channel in the past, so I purchased from them now 2 times, I think, total. And all the controversy popped off, and I couldn't really explain anything in the video last time because I had already filmed, uploaded, edited it, scheduled it. I just went in and put a disclaimer under the video because we are one day out from leaving on a couples trip. So my mom's been here a couple of days, and I was busting butt to get all of my videos scheduled through the Wednesday to Wednesday. So I just did not have the chance to redo the video because we're leaving tomorrow on this trip. And actually, right now, I'm just doing this voiceover, down and dirty, really quick voiceover, and I will edit this video when I return. So you won't even see this for a while, but I wanted to just make the disclaimer and let you guys know my thoughts on everything because I wanted to be crystal clear that I am an ally and I do not condone any of this crazy stuff whatsoever. So I'm going to discuss it a little bit in this video, and then we can put this behind us and not have to deal with this company again. And so that's why I didn't say anything in the video, but this is my chance to fill you guys in. I will no longer purchase from Goulet because of the things that went down. I don't like getting into the stuff. People can believe whatever they want to believe, and I'm fully for that, but don't let your beliefs hurt anybody else. Don't let your beliefs take rights from other people, because at the end of the day, everyone is human, everyone has flaws, everyone makes mistakes, everyone sins, and if there's one thing Jesus taught, it was love everybody. So that's my whole stance, is all the hate going around, and certain people, certain leaders, certain churches saying what they're going to say and trying to hinder rights of other people just does not sit well with me personally. So for Goulet's owners to be heavily involved in one of the churches that does spew some really just bad, crazy stuff. I'm going to try to bleep myself, but the podcast filmed by some of the leaders from their church, that they're close with this church, guys. It's not just some random cuckoo bananas person making the podcast. This is their church, their leaders of their church spewing all this stuff. So they know about it, and the fact their apology video, which at this point is still up but is being heavily moderated, their apology for that is, oh, we had no idea they had these crazy extreme beliefs. I'm just I call major BS on that. The apology did not seem sincere or genuine, and the most insincere, disingenuine part of it is the fact that, as far as I know, in this video, they do not say we are no longer part of this church. And mind you, they're heavily involved. They helped set up a branch of this church. So if they are claiming they don't know anything, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's insane. That's the number one thing you do, is say, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I knew they had some of these beliefs, but I wasn't sure how deep the rabbit hole went. But as soon as we heard that podcast, we parted ways with them, and we are so sorry. They had every opportunity to make this right and take accountability, and they're like, we had no idea that this happened, and we've been getting death threats. So feel sorry for us and still purchase from our company. So you know where my stance is on this. Unbelievable, reprehensible, and yeah, just flabbergasted that this is even a thing. And it's one thing to have your beliefs and your hatred towards people, but it's another thing to try to persuade other people to feel the same way, and posting podcasts about it. And I know a lot of people feel that way, but I'm an ally. I have friends in that community, and I just can't fathom trying to treat any other human as less than. It's just mind-boggling to me that this is even a thing in 2024. What are we doing, guys? It shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't even be a question. You can believe whatever you want, but don't let your beliefs hinder anybody else's rights or treat anybody else less than. And so that's where I stand. I will no longer purchase from Goulet. I will no longer watch their YouTube channel or support them in any way. And then also, further complicating everything, the two people on the podcast, Brian and Drew abruptly left the company. And I say abruptly just because one day he was no longer there. We don't have any explanation. And there was no like farewell YouTube message from him on their channel, like wishing him well or him saying goodbye. It was just like one day he's there, one day he is not there. So that to me says this was not a cordial, like happy-go-lucky, we wish you the best on your journey somewhere else parting. So that's like everything I need to know about the situation, is them being like, we had no idea of these beliefs, and then like the other person in the YouTube videos is just magically poof gone from everything. I have so many questions, and their apology thing raises way more questions for me. And I'm using the word apology very, very loosely because there was one like minor, tiny apology within this video that they made, but it wasn't really that great of an apology. They didn't really take accountability for anything. And they left out some glaring facts from their thing, that it was actually church leaders on an official church podcast, and they just kind of conveniently left those facts out. So that part just really doesn't sit right with me at all. So just the whole thing is sus, like my kid would say. Everything is sus. And now that I am back from my trip, I'm fully editing this video, and I found a great podcast that really outlines my feelings. And I think my feelings align pretty much like 99.99% with the Pen Addicts podcast. I will link to their specific podcast in the description box down below. And I say jump to like the 24-minute mark because that's a really good spot where they start discussing it. They start from the beginning, talk about the church podcast where they equated gay people to murderers because all sins are equal in this cuckoo bananas church. So just go through that, listen to that, and it really outlines my feelings on how disingenuous their video apology, non-apology thing was, because they, leave out some glaring facts and make it seem not as serious of an issue as it is. And like I said, no longer purchasing from Goulet. I ended up purchasing one other special edition pen, the coffee pen, and I did not purchase it from them, and I will no longer purchase from them. So my Goulet videos, I've taken the links out and I've put a disclaimer and linked to that Pen Addict podcast because I feel like they did a great job summarizing everything and also just a great job explaining the feelings of ick, like my feelings of ick surrounding this whole thing. And that's just where I'm going to leave it. So this video is not just a ramble fest. This video is the last of my swatches that I had purchased. So we're going to swatch them out. In the end of the video, I will show you guys all the swatches all dried with the dip pen writing as well and talk about it a little bit. But this first part's mostly just going to be sped up now that I've gotten all that stuff out of the way. And if the Goulet situation has hurt you or your community, I am deeply, deeply sorry. It's just disgusting behavior. Some of the nastiest stuff I've ever heard. Like, I'm floored that in 2024 we're having these kind of discussions. So I just hope that people can put more love out into the world and not be so cuckoo bananas. So let's go ahead and cut to just speeding up the rest of this video. I'm doing the swatches, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, here are the first 10 colors that I swatched. I was doing this at night, so the video is not the greatest. I just sped through all of it without talking. I am so excited about these colors. I've already put this Ancient Copper into one of my fountain pens. I've been using it. I love the color. I love like the light shading with all the way to the dark shading you get in the writing of it, and it's just beautiful. And I cannot wait to use some of these other just warm, beautiful tones. Now, I think this color palette here is just like perfect fall, super saturated, jewelry tone colors, and I am just hooked. So these two are supposed to be scented. I can really smell the elderberry one, but not so much the blackberry one. It smells really neat. I was worried, since I'm pretty sensitive. I get migraines and I'm very sensitive to smells. I was worried that it would be too strong, but I can't smell this one at all, and this one's just very, very subtle. Like I have to be pretty much nose to paper to smell it. I don't smell it like just standing back over here. I'm maybe like a foot away from the paper. Can't smell it at all. So it's not super overpowering or strong, which is good. I was worried about that. But the colors are gorgeous. I think all three of these are just beautiful colors. The Platinum Lavender Black, I expected it to be way darker purple, and it definitely leans pink to me. It's very pinky tone, so it's almost like a jewelry rosy tone there. And now these two are very similar colors. Like I think you could probably get away with picking just one of these three because they're so similar, but they are just truly beautiful colors. They write all nice and dark. This one I had a little trouble with. I don't think I dipped it very well, so it does come off a little bit lighter than these two. These two are very dark colors, and they write really well. This one writes a little bit lighter, but I was also having a little issues with it. So it might end up being a much drier ink, potentially. These three up here are just gorgeous. This one has that green on top of it, very much like the Poison Envy, but this one is supposed to be a winter one. So I'm picking up a ton of the green on the beginning part of the writing sample. Hopefully you guys can see that. It looks really cool. Like when you're first looking at it, at first glance, you don't notice the sheen on there, but then like turning the paper, you get a ton of sheening. So hopefully you guys can see how neat that looks. That's a really fun one. It doesn't give me like winter Christmassy vibes. It actually gives me Halloween vibes. I have one that I specifically got for Halloween in my last sample. Like that one totally has the same kind of thing, like purple to green, and it gives me Halloween vibes. Well, this one is the same way. It gives me total Halloween vibes. I'm not sure I'm gonna use it as like a Christmas color. It's totally gonna be a fall color for me. All of these like jewelry tone, super saturated colors to me scream fall. And so I will use them as a such. Now, I don't think I've gotten a Lammy color before. I did get a Lammy pen, but this one's gorgeous. Just like a perfect tealy color. It matches a lot of my accents in the house. This one's part of the Peter Pan collection. I do have Tinkerbell and Peter Pan like light greens, but this one's almost a tealy leaning green. It's really pretty. So all in all, just love them. I love these like fall colors. I can't wait to use this orange. So much fun. So right now I have Ancient Copper in one of my pens, and then I'll swap it out. I pretty much used up. I feel like with the cartridge converter, it's just not a ton of ink, so when I'm journaling every day, I can use that up in a few days. I'll be filling up that pen soon. Okay, now let's move on to those 5. Now these are more of like my pinky tone ones. So some of these were from the Goulet Pens video where they were recommending ones that match that Lammy Autumn Pink pen. This one's very coral leaning, so I don't think it matches the pen that great, but these 3 are like beautiful pinks. I'm so glad I went with some of the recommendations. Now this is more of like a peachy pink, and it's gorgeous too. I absolutely love all 4 of these. I will use them and love them. Now this one's in my pen right now. Sailor Shikiori Sakura Mori, gorgeous pink. It does lean a little bit light when you're writing, but it hasn't bothered me. I mean, it's not too light. And then this one down here, Organic Studio, it's Henry David Thoreau Walden, and it's really pretty. I wasn't sure what to expect from this one. It came out looking super blue when I was putting it down, but it ended up turning more tealy leaning, and it's gorgeous. I love when the colors have so much variation in the stroke. You get like all the lighter parts of the sample and all of the darker parts. Like some of the parts have tons of the dark, but each letter is like 2 tones of color, which is so much fun. Like leans dark to light, back and forth. And it's just such a cool look when colors do that. And it does sheen a little bit, so you can see that like reflective element to it. It's so much fun. So these two are just plain old inks. This one has a little bit of shimmer in there as well, which is fun. And then also this up here, Dipped in Coral Humming, has a lot of shimmer. So they're fun. I really do love the shimmer colors, but I also love when you get some variation like that. The sheening inks, so fun. So I definitely would recommend all of the colors that I got. They all seem like they'll be dark enough on paper. These two are a little bit light. This Sailor Dipped in Coral Humming and then the Sailor Shikiori Sakura Mori. They're both a little bit light, but I wouldn't call them like deal breaker light colors. I do have some that I'm like, oh, I cannot really write with this. See, I'll show you some of those Peter Pan colors, like Tinkerbell. When you write with it, it basically disappears into the paper. Super light. Same with Alice. I've used this one a few times. It looks a little bit darker here because the pen was, you know, just freshly dipped, but it turns out to be really light. Sometimes they are like this one. I don't even know how to pronounce this one. A-S-G-R. I don't know, like this one's almost unusable for me because they're so light. I like darker, you know, more saturated colors, and all three of these pinks are beautiful. Just beautiful, lighter pinks, and they're just gorgeous. So I definitely love all of these 15 colors we talked about today. Nice, dark, saturated. All of them look like they write really well. I'm so content with all of them, so I can't wait to play around with them a little more. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will be back very soon with another video. Have a great day, and I will catch you next time. Bye.